You guys forgot about this one, didn't you? This guitar, I kind of like it. It's not a guitar that I would normally pick out and play. It's got a really big butt on it, but this guitar plays really good. It it plays nothing like what you would think. If you guys have not played a Yamaha RevStar, do yourself a favor. Just go down to the store, pick one up, plug it in. It does everything really well. It does cleans well. It does distortions well. It's an awesome little guitar. I kind of got on the Ibanez kick after Linnell got this one, and I keep forgetting on a hardtail guitar how well this guitar just plays. If I had to pick between the Ibanez and this one, and I was going out playing somewhere, playing a variety of music, believe it or not, I'm going to take this one. Solely because on the clean, this guitar cleans up and has a little bit warmer sound than the Ibanez. The pickups, it has this little switch right here, and basically what that does is it thickens the tone. So I'm going to switch over to a clean channel, and I'll show you. So we're using a little THX10 Yamaha desktop amp directly into my interface. It's a $300 desktop amp. So this is the clean. Get it in a center position. If you take that knob and you pull it up, it gets a little thinner, but it's more edgy. You can hear that. Now if you roll the tone back, not going to change the tone. I'm just going to push the knob in. See, it gets a little bottom end. Whoops, it helps when you can play. Very, very nice sounding, clean oriented guitar. In the neck position, it's a it's a great guitar. And we have been trying to really locate. We've been on a different kind of mission, if that makes sense, guys. I've been trying to find. We do budget guitars too. We're getting ready to do a couple budget guitars. So you budget guys out there, don't fret. It's coming. We're gonna do some more budget stuff coming up. But we're trying to find guitars in that sweet spot to where you can purchase it. You can get nice, clean sounds out of it. If you want to run some high gain, it's going to be good on high gain. You don't have to put tuners on it. You don't have to replace the bridge. You don't have to put better pots on it. We're trying to find instruments that you can buy that are good working man instruments to where you're not breaking the bank buying them and you're not buying a $300 guitar and turning around and putting another $200 in it and then all your time. So we're trying to find stuff between 400 and 600 that's just a good instrument. And I believe this guitar definitely falls in that category. And I definitely believe this RGA falls in that category too. Now, granted, you're paying $100 more for the Yamaha, but I think for that $100, you're getting this. You're getting that clean, articulate sound, and it's just a good playing guitar. Now that's the bridge. If you want to quack pull up this, I am not a chicken picker. But you can hear, if I was a chicken picker could play this guitar. It has that you could get it. I am not that style of musician, and I'm not even going to try it. But I believe that this is one of these guitars, $550, that you could buy, and you can get a ton of different sounds out of it. If you're in a bar band playing a variety of music, this guitar definitely does it. And if you know me, I'm into obnoxious colors, so this is definitely an obnoxious color. And the overall fit and finish on this guitar is great. And it's got a nice rake angle. If you look at the body to neck, you can see if I hold the neck parallel to the camera, there is quite a bit of negative rake angle to the neck. And you can see it right here when you look at the back of the headstock, the neck to the body. There's a good 1/8 of an inch. There's only about a 1/16 of an inch here. So they've definitely kicked that neck back. And everyone knows I kind of like negative rake on my guitars. It's got a good sound. So I'm going to set this thing aside. I'm going to pull these headphones off because my ears are catching on fire. kind of go over some things. If Designator hasn't already, he can post a link to the Discord server. So, Ted, hang in there, buddy. Trust me. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but you're going to be happy. Just trust me. Go to the Discord server, and in the left-hand side, there'll be rooms. Okay? Devastator can post the name of the room. If you want to enter in on the guitar giveaway, the only restrictions we have is you need to be a subscriber on this one. Okay? There will be more rules on the next one, but on this one, since we've already started, these are the rules. You got to be a subscriber, publicly subscribe, so I can verify that you're a subscriber. And you got to be on the Discord server to register. And that's only because this is a small beans operation. And it's really only 3 moderators, okay? 2 of which are active. Mike's not too active. Linnell and myself try to do everything. So Devastator is pretty much in control of the Discord server. So when you go there on the left-hand side, it'll say opt in on guitar giveaway. So you need to go to that page and put in, yes, I want to be in the guitar giveaway. If your name on Discord does not match the YouTube name, please put your YouTube handle there. Okay, so we know who you are, so I can cross-reference it to YouTube. If your name is not in that list, you're not going to be put in the little spinny wheel to win the guitar. Now, as of right now, if you want to vote on the guitar that we are purchasing, it's a $400 guitar, okay? And, of course, I'm going to have to pay to ship it. So our limit is $500. So you can post up to like a $430 guitar because California is going to be a little bit more for us to ship it. But as of right now, we have 1 vote on a Dinky Archtop JS32 with the Jackson Floating Bridge. That guitar comes in, depending on the color, at $399 to $419. We also have 1 vote for a Jackson X Dinky DK2XR Limited. That's a flat body top. It's not arched. Also has the Jackson Floating Bridge. We have 1 vote on that. We have 2 votes on the Ibanez Geo RG330EX. Comes with a Godot floating bridge, 2 Infinity R pickups, and that one's coming in at $399. And Devastator has found an open box on Sweetwater. It's a PRS CE24 standard in blue. Now, if this guitar is still there when we order in 2 weeks, it'll still be open. If not, I'll get on Reverb. I'll get on Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, AMS Music. I'll reach out to my Sweetwater guy and see if we can get a floor model, because normally this guitar is $499, which throws it over the budget. Right now, this guitar on Sweetwater is at $449. So we might be able to pull that one. We have 1 vote on that one. If you want to enter in a guitar, okay, on what you think we should get in review, you need to go to the Discord server. In the general window, put my vote for the guitar giveaway and review is, and put a link to that guitar, and it'll be linked, okay? If you want to vote on any of these, Devastator, we may have to make a list under the guitar giveaway on these guitars. And I can probably get with Devastator tomorrow. That way we're not posting 50,000 different guitars and we only have 1 vote on 50 different guitars. It is, Ted. Linnell just told me your comment. We're trying to, this is our first really, well, actually Birdman got our first giveaway. He's the lucky soul. that got the first giveaway. I sent pictures to Birdman this morning uh, of his little package sitting at USPS getting put in the bag. So, actually, Birdman, I don't know. Let me look at your ticket when that's supposed to get to you. I will hold the receipt. I don't know if it says your address on here or not. Tracking numbers. I'm trying to see if it actually says when it'll be there. I don't know. It's probably about 3 days, Birdman. Here's the receipt. I think it's about 3 days. So depending if shipping works on Sundays, you might see it on Tuesday. And Birdman won our question of the live stream about a week and a half ago. So he got a free pedal. And that was a completely unintentional. This right here, this little thing that I yap out of sometimes gets me in trouble. And before I realized it, I had already said, if you guess it right, you get a free something. So once I said it, I was kind of trapped. And I've watched Birdman's videos, and I sent him a Joyo American pedal. I think it's really going to fit in with Birdman's style. That pedal's really good at light distortions, early 80 distortions, like a crunch and blues. It is great at that kind of stuff. So he's going to get a free pedal. So hopefully when he gets the pedal, he can post on here what he thinks of it. But that's how we're going to set up the guitar giveaway. So if you guys want to enter, like I said, you got to be a subscriber. And I've yet to even see it in YouTube, but you got to be publicly subscribed. If you're not publicly subscribed, I can't see that you're subscribed. That makes no sense. If you're going to subscribe to the channel, it seems like the channel should be able to see you. But if it's not clicked public, then it hides that information for me, and I can't verify that you're a subscriber. And the only reason we're doing that is the subscribers are paying for this guitar. So I only think it's fair, since the subscribers are paying for it, that you should be a subscriber that wins it. And I can already tell you, not all subscribers that have paid into this fund are entering to win. There's already 3 people that are pulling their name out that I know have donated money to this guitar that are not going to be in the pool to win it. They have publicly said, I have enough guitars. It needs to go somebody that is a subscriber that may need a guitar. But if you have 20 guitars and you win, then you win. But that was their thought. They said, look, we're donating money to it, but we don't want to be in the lottery to win it. So that's super cool. You guys know who you are that has already opted out. Of course, myself and Linnell have opted out, so we're not in the drawing. But there's 3 other people that have opted out, so it's 5 total that have opted out. So that just brings the odds up. And since this is our first giveaway, I can already tell you that it's not going to be like playing the lottery. You're going to have really good odds of winning a $400 guitar. And it's not going to be like you get it off Sweetwater. When the guitar comes, I'm going to review the guitar, give an honest review of the guitar. I don't care if it's a POS. We're trying not to pick a POS. We're trying to pick a guitar that you can buy, and it'll be a good working man's guitar for bar music that you don't have to worry about. But if there is a problem with the guitar, Dominion Fretworks, that's the company that I do on the side, servicing instruments, we are going to fix whatever frets need to be fixed, make sure the guitar is in good playing condition and as good as it can be for a $400 guitar. And then we're going to send it out. So it'll be the review video. And if it needs anything, there'll be a video on repairing it for the winner, if that makes sense. But you got to go to the Discord server, and you got to log into that room so we know you're entered to win. And right now, I think we only have 2 entries. So you got a 50-50 chance right now to win it. Ted, you're opting out? Okay. But how we tried to fix that is what I just said. You got to opt in to win it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong, Ted, with you entering. But you got to go to the Discord server. I don't know if you've logged into the Discord server yet, but we set up a Discord server, Ted, and that's just a place where you can go and chat. And we've got guys there from all different. It's growing. I think we got 16 or it's small. But this channel, when it first started, guess what? When I first started this channel, I had 0 subscribers. I think everyone starts with 0. And it just builds. So over the last 2 years, we're up to like 22 or almost 2,200 subscribers, getting there anyway. 21 something. So I'm sure the Discord thing will grow. And I'm sure it's going to evolve because we're adding rooms and we're still trying to figure out how to make it work. We're trying to get Discord to work with OBS to where it's not just this ugly mug doing the live stream. We're going to have guests come in and do split screens. That is coming. We're going to work the bugs out tomorrow on that with some guys that are on Discord. We've got it somewhat set up tonight, playing around, but we're going to attempt to work the bugs out and have it ready for next Saturday night and have hopefully our first guest appearance next Saturday night. But if you want to if you want to enter to win, go to the Discord server, and every live stream that we do up until the giveaway, we're going to put in the comment section the Discord link and what you got to do to enter. What were you saying, honey? Yeah, that's what it's about. I mean, I didn't know how to go about doing it. The point of it is, I mean, I have a ton of guitars. I don't need another guitar. And there's other people that's posted, we don't need a ton of guitars. We've already kind of got this one rolling. So it's up to the subscribers if we want to change the rules. But as long as we're getting super chat money, because that's the super chat money is what's funding the instrument. So maybe the next time we try to find someone that needs a guitar, that's playing guitar, that's got a really bad guitar, that's talented, that could use a guitar, and we can do it that way. This just kind of evolved, if that made sense, with the super chat funds, and we didn't really know how we were going to do it. So I don't want to change too much just in case someone listened last month, and they said, well, you said you were going to do this. So we're trying to keep, I'm a man of my word. I try to. If I don't do something, it's just I'm too buried. But I always try to be, if I say something, I try to make it happen. It may not happen on the date that I want. I push through, but I make sure that I do the best job I can do, and I make sure the person's happy. And it's my word, if that makes sense. And that's all we have. So if someone clicked in last month and they said, oh, he's going to do a subscriber giveaway, that's how we're going to approach this one. But if that subscriber needs a good guitar, then so be it. I'm not putting any restrictions other than you got to be a subscriber. And the only way I can do it easily and know that you're entering is to link it to the Discord page. This is our first attempt. I'm sure maybe next time we'll get better. Maybe there's a better way of allowing people to log into something to enter to win. But that's how we're going to do this one. And hopefully it works. If not, the next one we'll get a little better at it, if that makes sense. I just want to be fair. That's all. And if you, like I said, if you want to opt out and you're a subscriber, that's fine. You just don't go to the Discord. or still go to the Discord and become a Discord member and chat there. But you don't have to go to the room in Discord and enter your name into Wind. That's how you opt out. Just don't enter to Wind, if that makes sense. Um, that's we just spent the last I think 4 hours on Discord trying to figure out how to make it work, and that's how we're going to do the giveaway. But that's the list of guitars. Again, we got two Jacksons, a JS32 arch top with a Jackson Floyd, a Jackson X Dinky flat top with the Jackson Floyd, an Ibanez RG330EX with a Goto bridge, and we have a PRS standard. That's the votes as of right now. So you can go to the Discord, put your vote in general chat, or if you want to vote for a different guitar for us to purchase, put a link there and say, my vote is this guitar. It's just got to be between, well, it can't be more expensive than $430. And we're kind of cheating on the PRS. It's $450. I think we can make it work, if that makes sense. So we're going to leave the PRS on there. All right, I think that's all the catch-up news that I have as far as the server and everything that has transpired. Now we can kind of get into some other things. The box is gone. So sad to say, guys, the Ibanez PWM20 has been returned. And if you're not familiar, we did a live review on that guitar. And after closer inspection, I have since decided that there were just too many imperfections with the guitar to keep. It's a $1,500 guitar. And my feelings are, does it play good? Yes. Does the tremolo feel good? Yes. Was the fretwork decent? The fretwork was decent. It did have some high frets. It did not pass 100% on the fretwork. The end dressing was good. It sounded good. It felt good. But it had two cracks in the finish of the body. Even it's a sandblasted finish. We found two cracks in the body. Okay. We also found the truss rod cover on the top of the headstock was attached crooked. So it was not setting down tight to the nut. Does that affect the playability? No, it doesn't. But it should be on the guitar properly when you pay $1,500 for a guitar. And we found blemishes on the pickup rings from the chrome coating. What else did we find, hon? Oh, it had a ding in one of the frets. I'm sorry, $1,500. Maybe if you get yours, if you order one, it won't have those issues. But I do want to qualify, this channel's about honesty. If you're looking for an S model Ibanez with the Edge 02 tremolo, I believe there's better offerings at less money from Ibanez than that model. They have a humbucker, single humbucker with the DiMarzio pickups, 02 bridge for right at $1,000, which is $500 cheaper. The replacement guitar probably won't be here until Thursday or Friday. We sent out, when did we send the Ibanez back? Was it Friday? We just sent it out Friday. And the RA label that Sweetwater sent me said 2-day air. So I don't know if they receive on Sundays there or not. I kind of doubt it if they're a receiving department. Yeah, it'll probably be Monday or Tuesday before they send me my guitar, the replacement. So I'm kind of guessing maybe Thursday. So the next live review, I want to do better, if that makes sense. We've done, I think, 5 or 6 live reviews. We ordered a different model, Birdman. But I feel that I've done I'm a smoker. So if you guys don't like smoking and I lose a subscriber, that's fine. But I have one crutch in life. I do not drink at all, but I do smoke. Um, so I want to say that I kind of did everyone a disservice. And I say that in the most honest way. I want to review guitars as a professional woodworker and a professional AutoCAD, PLC, and CAM programmer. That's what I am. I am a professional AutoCAD, PLC, and CAM person. I am a master carpenter. I also am a licensed master plumber, and I'm also a master electrician licensed. Both of those licensed in Virginia and West Virginia, and my plumbing was actually Maryland too. I didn't get my electrical in Maryland. So, not that that has anything to do with making me a better source, but I understand programming, CNC. I'm a musician. So, as being a musician and all this, I want to give honest reviews, not just how the instrument plays, okay? How well is it machined? How well is it put together? You know, how good is the finish? We do a lot of finish work at the house, at work with UV coating finishes, a lot of lacquer finishes. We don't do anything in nitro, but we do some lacquer, shellacs, UV finishes, urethane finishes, 2K. So I have a lot of experience at Spring as well. So when I look at these guitars, I want to do an honest review. Now, granted, I get one guitar. Just like I was just saying on that Ibanez. You might get a better one, you might get a worse one. But you can kind of look, if there's missteps in the programming and in the pocket routing and the alignment, odds are these issues are going to be in all of them. Because the CNC doesn't care if it's the 50th run, the first run, the second run, or the 1000th run. It follows the exact same protocol. Now, there are some variables there. If you do a tooling change and you have a sharp bit, okay, and your program is right, of course, that first 2 or 3 bodies are going to be superior. After you run 50 or 60 bodies and the bit starts getting a little dull, if the machine tech doesn't slow down the machine or do any compensation, there could be some tear out. It's the exact same program, but now the bit isn't as sharp. So I tried to take that into consideration. But when I pull a back and I see step over variations from run out, that's just poor programming, okay? Or a bad machine or a cheap machine. If I see that in this guitar, odds are all of them are going to be that way because of the end play in the machine. The step overs aren't even. So that means when it comes in and they start routing your neck pocket and there's bad run out in the machine, there's no way to get this neck pocket perfectly flat. Oh, okay, Ted. Thank you so much for coming in. Ted, you're going to be really happy this week. That's all I'm going to say. Well, I want more than, I think we only have like six suggestions right now. So I would prefer to at least have this is a small channel. Okay, we're not going to have all 2,000 subscribers come and vote on this. So I want to be realistic. If I could get 5 or 6 votes on a single guitar, that would be great. So worst case scenario, right now we have 4 different guitars. So that means we could have up to 20, 25 votes before we could even pick one of these if everyone picks a different guitar. And if people add more guitars, the more guitars we list to get 5, the longer it's going to take. At some point, I'll just have to pick one. but I would like to order it on my next YouTube check. Hun, when does that check usually come? It's the same date every month. I can't remember if it's. Yeah, I think it's about the 23rd of every month. So that's what we're looking at, about the 23rd next month. Actually placing the order for the guitar. But those are the ones. Hopefully, we'll get everything worked out on the Discord server tomorrow. Didn't have enough time tonight to do everything. We did start the entry room. And we'll figure out a way of posting these guitars that we have listed right now so people can vote on what we're ordering. And it's completely up to you guys. The more votes we have on a particular instrument, that's the one we'll get. And like I said, it's a giveaway guitar. So keep that in mind as well. We're just looking for something that we feel will not need an upgrade. So don't look at a guitar and go, well, this would be a good guitar if we put this on it. Try to pick a guitar that you feel you could buy and take out and play a gig with. Something that's going to have decent tuners, a stable bridge, decent pickups. We're wanting a good working man guitar on a budget. Yeah, hon?
Devastator had said if we end up picking the PRS and it ends up at 500, he said he'll cover the extra for it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, buddy. As far as what Devastator said, covering the extra on the PRS, I'm sure we could make it work. I don't want to get too expensive on the giveaway guitar because it is a giveaway guitar, if that makes sense. And this is a really small channel, and I think since the subscribers are donating that money, I don't want to. This might come across bad. I want to use the funds wisely, if that makes sense. So it's one giveaway to one person, and it's $500. So I want to keep that in everyone's mind, that how we can make the channel money do more for the channel, if that makes sense. So this was something we talked about. We don't have to do it a guitar next time. Maybe we could do a small budget amp, like this little Yamaha, or a pedal, or something else. It doesn't necessarily have to be a guitar. There's 50,000 other things that we can do. There's all kinds of little modeling amp platforms, the Line 6 Stomp stuff. Granted, that's at the $650 price point now. That stuff keeps going up. It's getting crazy. So there's a lot of different avenues. We're just trying to make it fun and interactive, if that makes sense. And the channel itself here needs to do some updating. Everyone knows that need a better computer system. We're going to have to eventually get a lapel mic. And these are just things that I hear in the comment sections on the review. You're 5 foot away from the mic. You're 8 foot away from the mic. Yeah, that makes a difference. But at the same token, this channel's not really super polished. It's me, a guitar player that does woodworking for a living, reviewing guitars honestly. So I don't want to get the channel to the point where it looks like a polished Discovery Channel video, if that makes sense. And it's all about the look and feel. It's more about the information. And I get it. People get on YouTube. They want to be able to hear what you're saying. They don't want fuzzy video or nasty audio. I think the channel does well for what it has, but as it grows, it will have to invest in better cameras, a better mic, something that we can do time sync on. And that's down the road. The channel's not going anywhere, but maybe when we hit 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers, we can cross that bridge. And if the channel just all of a sudden dies, and I hear that a lot, the reason you don't have subscribers is the video quality isn't good enough or the audio is not good enough, then we'll cross that bridge, if that makes sense. How about a Helix Stadium? Oh my gosh, I don't think we can do a Helix. Now, Jupe, if you can find a Helix Stadium for $450, I'll buy 100 of them, and we'll sell them at the retail price, and I'll split the profit with you. Sounds like a heck of a deal. Hey, they're searching for Tony. Good to see you, man. Probably got to turn that down a little bit, don't I? Yeah, it's a little loud. There we go. Make it a little lower than I can't hear it on my headphones on, but looking at the VU meters, it looked quieter. So that's how we're going to approach it. And that was just my thought on it, guys. So everything's pretty much done. We had a pretty successful week. I got everything shipped back to Sweetwater. All the guitars and pedals and everything that was supposed to leave Dominion Fretworks has left. So we're back down to just 2 guitars again. We've got Jupe's guitar in the basement, and we have Devastator's guitar in the basement that we're building bridges for. So we're back down to just 2 projects, which kind of makes me happy. It gets kind of busy here, guys, especially with another full-time job. It gets quite busy. So if no one has anything else to add, that's how we're going to enter the contest for the free guitar. And the moderators here should be able to do all the links and stuff on that. But that's through our Discord server. And guys, just go. It's a good place to hang out. I'm not sure, but I think Brian said, I'm pretty sure I was watching one of his streams, and he said that they had tried the Discord thing, and I think they gave that one up. I'm not sure. I'm thinking Brian said that that's what had happened. He can put in the chat if that's incorrect, but I'm pretty sure I was watching one of his streams where he said they had gave up on the Discord server. But we're trying it, and so far it seems to be a good avenue to come home and just sit in and chat with some guys. So go there, log in. There seems to always be somebody on there. Maybe we can make this one work, if that makes sense. Hopefully it will. But we're going to use that for the login on the guitar giveaway. So I see Steve just coming in the group. Hey, man. Steve, which one was Steve? Steve had put in the Dinky Archtop JS32 for the guitar giveaway. That was Steve's. He just joined the chat. That was actually Steve's entry on what he thought should be the guitar giveaway. Jerry Boy has put in the Jackson X Dinky, which is a DK2XR. And Kurt and myself believe the Ibanez RG330EX would be a good $400 giveaway guitar. And Devastator has put in the PRS CE24 standard. So those are the 4 guitars that we have up right now that we're voting on, depending. And if you don't like any one of those and you have a better guitar with better specs, or you feel would just be a better working instrument, go to Discord. You can link it in there.
Search at the time said no, our Discord is pretty good. About 60 people so far, about 20 regulars chatting.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I must have caught. I thought it was one of your streams that you were saying that it wasn't something, that you all were abandoning it. That's been a while ago. So that's cool, man.
He just joined your server.
Oh, cool. Thank you, man. Sometimes you get flooded with just too much and everyone can't participate in everything, if that makes sense. So hopefully it works. You know, this is a small channel, guys. I don't do YouTube for a living, and I don't want to do YouTube for a living. So as long as I pay my bills with my CAM programming and AutoCAD and woodworking, I don't need to go to companies like Geiger or all these other companies that send you stuff and be a salesman. That's not what I'm here to be. I'm just here to as a guitar player telling you my thoughts on the instrument. I don't want to get to the point where I feel, even though that you say it's my thoughts, you can't you can't say what I've said like about Leo James and expect Leo James to call you ever back and say, "Hey, we gotta get to." Leo James is never going to send me an email. They're not. Leo James is not ever going to send this channel a guitar. Um, I have I have been brutally honest with that company, and what's sad is I think they could make a good guitar if they could just get their fret leveling right. Um, the Monsoon and Hurricane could be a good guitar. They just cannot set frets and level frets there. They can't. I've ordered, I think we're at 6 or 7 Leo James, and none of them have been, well, one's been decent. The rest of them were just, I consider decent is you still have a high fret, but it's a high fret. All the other ones had low frets. And low frets, that means you're sanding them all down. If you have a low fret, you got to bring them all down to that lowest fret. A high fret, that's not too bad. Even if you got 2 high frets, you could sand those 2 high frets down to the others. But a low fret, you're reworking the whole guitar. And I've only had one Leo James that did not have a low fret. But tons of other problems. Loose input jacks, loose pickups, crooked necks, bad machine neck pockets. I'll be honest with you. So, now, the Valgoas I had were cheaper, and the CNC process on the body and neck was better. But the pickups were awful. So that's what the channel's about. We're trying to review these instruments and give an honest opinion. And I don't even think price point has anything to do with it. I just returned a $1,500 guitar. I think price is relative, if that makes sense. Everyone's going to have a different feeling on what they think is expensive. If you're buying Murphy Lab Gibsons, then a $3,000 Kiesel is cheap. For me, a $3,000 Kiesel is expensive. A cheap guitar, in my opinion, that's $250 to $300. That's an inexpensive guitar. I think a mid-tier guitar nowadays, $750 to, believe it or not, $1,200. That's a mid-tier guitar. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but prices have just went crazy over the last 3 or 4 years. I would say, yeah, $750 to $1,200 mid-tier. And I've done a lot of looking here lately. It seems like anything over $1,800, it doesn't become specs anymore. It just becomes country of origin and brand, if that makes any sense. I think country of origin, let's say I got an Ibanez here. Okay. Is this an Ibanez? Well, there's 2 schools of thought. Yes, it's an Ibanez. It says Ibanez. The other school of thought is, no, this is not an Ibanez. It was made in Indonesia. That's not an Ibanez. Ibanez started in Japan. If it's an Ibanez, it needs to be made in Japan. That's Ibanez. So that's 2 totally different schools of thought on that. But I still feel, yes, this is an Ibanez made in either Cortex or Samac or whatever that other company is. One of those 2 companies built this guitar for Amazon or Ibanez to their specs. Amazon reviews the guitar, makes sure that it's acceptable for their product line, and then orders, 3,000 of these, and they ship them out. Maybe 3,000 in this color, 3,000 in the gray. Or not Amazon, Ibanez. Orders these at a lot, and the company makes them for them. Is it an Ibanez? I guess that's what it roots back to. It's not made in Japan. So that's why I say country of origin. Sometimes that's That's what increases the price. So when you look at a Gibson, they're all USA made. Does that kind of make sense? They've never outsourced Gibson. Gibson has Epiphone. That's the one they outsource. But Ibanez doesn't do that. And the one that really gets confusing is Fender. Fender was USA made. They bought Squier. That was their import line. Then they ruffled everyone's fingers and said, okay, we're going to make a made in Mexico Fender. Then they said, okay, we're going to make a made in Japan Fender. And a couple years ago, about 10 years ago, Fender started doing Indonesian Fenders. The new Fender standard is not the first Fender Indonesian product. They've been making the Fender FMT for 10 years, and that's always been an Indonesian product.
Sir said I'd almost extended to even 1500 mid-tier, which hurts to say.
Yeah, I agree, Brian. 1500. It's hard. There are, and the only reason I'm saying like 1250, there are a tremendous amount of guitars in the 1000 to 1250 range from every manufacturer. But if you go up to 1500, you're 100% right. You can pretty much get any spec you want at 1500. And I'll even say you can even find some neck through models with floating bridges in the $1,500 price range. That's kind of crazy, I know, but that's mid-tier. Anything really from what I was seeing, 1800 and above, that's what I was saying. I think it comes down to country of origin and how the person feels about the product as far as, is this an Ibanez since it wasn't made in Japan? You know, Fender, that's what I'm saying. Fender kind of broke the mold on that. They still have Squier, but now they have 3 or 4 different sources of imports under the Fender name. So they all do it, except like Kiesel. Kiesel and Gibson, to my knowledge, are the only ones that don't. That it's all American product. They don't have an import line. PRS would prefer you to buy an SE. The manufacturing cost and labor cost in Maryland, I know. I live 50 minutes from the PRS factory. I can't work there. If I went to work for PRS as a master luthier, I'd lose my home. They don't pay enough. I make probably twice what their master luthiers make. I can't afford to work there. I just can't. The area is too expensive. So Paul knows that. He's got a large warehouse there in Maryland. We're on the other side of D.C. So he's got to look at it. I've got employees on the floor. I've got an exorbitant tax base in Maryland. Gas, natural gas prices, electric prices, and just taxes on the property and building in Maryland. He's got to make money just to cover the overhead for that building and the labor rates. Because in that area, a one-bedroom house is going to sell for $600,000. I know what you guys are saying. $600,000 for a one-bedroom? Yeah, that's what it's going to sell for. Right down the street, and I live an hour away, a one-bed was $250,000? $250,000 for a one-bedroom, 700 square foot house. This area has gotten expensive. So Paul looks at it, okay, plus he got the EPA in Maryland and Virginia restricts how much you can spray. So he can do his import, bring it in, and make more money on a $1,000 import than he can a $6,000 custom shop core. That's how they're seeing it. I hate to say that. And if I'm wrong, he can drive to my house and tell me I'm wrong. I live that close to him. But I'm pretty sure I'm not. That's why they're doing it's less overhead, less headache, and he would rather use that square footage to stock inventory than to put another CNC machine in, if that makes sense. Paul was just on Anderson's YouTube, man. He's on. Yeah, Paul is 100% awesome. I have no questions, doubt of that. But he's a businessman, and you got to make money. That's why I look at YouTube. If you think you're going to make a living on YouTube, you better have, a ton of subscribers. I'm going to view Birdman might understand this comment because Birdman's into it like I am. I want to be a millionaire and be a team pilot for Goblin, which is an RC helicopter company. I can tell you how you can be a millionaire flying for Goblin. You start as a billionaire. And that's how I feel about YouTube. You want to be a millionaire or make good money on YouTube, you better invest 10 times that amount of money. And I don't think you would ever get it back even when you did start making money. I just don't see it. It's the world's worst business model that I think I've ever seen. I am here because of you guys, the friends that I've made here. And I started because I was watching YouTube and just watching these channels review these guitars, and just everyone said they were great. So I started buying them and finding out they wasn't so great. Um, I don't really remember too many channels doing that when I first started. It took 6 or 7 months for my channel to get any traction, if that makes sense. Um, but that's why I started. I'm not going to name any names, but I went through the typical channels, and everyone, this is great, this is great, this is great. And it took me about a year and a half to realize that you'll notice channels always post, bigger channels will post products about the same time. Those are release dates. I don't take any of those reviews seriously. I mean, I just don't take them seriously. I don't. Um, they could be honest channels, but I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt because I know it's paid promotion, if that makes sense. No matter what they say, if someone sends you a product, you're not going to, if it's an awful product, you're, unless you just don't care that they send you something, you're not going to be 100% on it because that company, again, is not going to send you anything. I had a couple companies reach out to me, and during the conversations, I dislike the restrictions, and it's all the fine print stuff that say, yeah, you're getting a free product, but is it worth the amount of time for $100 or $200 product? And then they have the royalties to that video. They can use it in another market. They can chop it up and take snips out of it and give it to another creator. It's not your property anymore.
Person at the time said I've invested a crap ton just to have fun. If I could just sustain it, that would be great. So far, not really.
Yeah, Brian, don't. I don't think it's sustainable. Your channel, my channel, Ted's channel, um, Ubi's channel. I think they're all great content. They are. I don't really watch Ubi that much, but I've seen some of his stuff. I can't think of all of them. There's so many small channels that actually do really good stuff, and they're doing it with basic equipment. These are my two little lights. They're not fancy. They don't have a thing over them. That's why I point them in different directions. I just finally got a decent microphone. This is a budget channel, just like budget guitars. But I view it for what it's contributed. Some of the guitars that I reviewed a year and a half ago, if I look at AdSense, they still, AdSense wise, have not paid for the product. And they've had 15, 20,000 views. So that's insane. Well, if you've got a $150 guitar and you've had 15,000 views on it, and you haven't made $150, that's a horrible business model. Now, granted, I've sold that guitar for 100, so technically I'm ahead 50. So I'm ahead $50. It took 10 or 12 hours of video time, and at the time I probably spent 15 hours editing.
Sergeant Patel said, "That's me. Don't care. I actually would tell them if you want to censor me, I'll send the product back and then make a video about how you wanted to censor me."
Exactly, Brian. Brian just nailed it. That's what I would do. And that's what I told that Gunther or whatever it was. I sent 2 emails. I said, these are my terms. If I hear back from you and you send me the product to this address, I will do a video. And these are my terms. You need to sign here. Send it back to me. Send me the product. Never heard boo from them since. And then it was 2 or 3 that sent things out. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this, guys. That's not how this channel works. You want to send me the product? I'll send it back to you. I don't need to keep it. I can review your product and send it right back to you. I don't need to keep it. I don't need to give it to someone. But if you want me to do a review on it, great. But it's going to be a review from a CAM programmer and a woodworker and a musician. I'm going to look at the general quality and your price point, and we'll see. I'm not going to be super hard on you. If I see that the general construction is good and it just needs tuners or maybe pickups and your price point's at $250, I think that's fine. I think someone buying a $250 guitar, if this guitar was a $250 guitar and you got it and the pickups were so-so, but the tuners and stuff were good, I'd still consider that a good buy. Because you can get, a set of Wilkinson's pickups and put in it for $50, and you still got a relatively inexpensive guitar. But you still have to be mechanically inclined to do it. But I wouldn't give them a bad review. I always try to take price point into consideration. And that's why I was saying earlier, my little squirrel brain jumps around so much. I felt like I did everyone a disservice on the live reviews because I don't have ample time to really look at the product. So I think from now on, I am going to receive the guitar, maybe do a live unboxing, but as far as a review, I'm not. I'm going to play the guitar for a week, have the guitar here for a week, really look at the guitar and have an opportunity to give it the good once over, and then do a live review, if that makes sense. It gives me time to inspect the guitar properly and do a proper review. And that's how my video reviews work. If I didn't initially see a problem on my fit and finish that I always do at the beginning, I would go back and re-record it. Let's say I was in the demo section and I'm playing and I look down and it's like, well, I didn't see that. Look at that. I might let that go, but I would bring it up at the end. If I found 2, I go back and just re-record the whole fit and finish section because I missed it, if that makes sense. So I think the Ibanez video is proof of that. In the very next stream, we posted pictures on Discord of the issues that I found and on that live stream with the Ibanez. So I want to make it clear that the Ibanez that I received was subpar for that kind of money. Again, if you want to purchase it, maybe yours will be better. But this channel's opinion was not worth $1,499.
Walmart said yes. No quick scripted review was not spending time.
Yeah. And that's why I think I did a disservice and I picked it up on the Ibanez. So I never want to lose my word. That's why I came right back on the very next stream and said, here's this guitar. Here's what I found. Okay. So I want to spend a week with the guitar and then I don't mind the live. I think the live interaction is cool. Just keep in mind when we're doing a live review and I'm sitting there with a fret rocker, you guys don't get to watch me in squirrel mode. You know, you're going to have to sit there for 10 minutes with me with a fret rocker as I check this neck. Or if you guys trust me enough, I can fret rocker it, and on the live review, I can say, yes, I did fret rocker it. But there's always someone that says, well, how do we know? So I'm trying to please everybody, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can't please everybody. I get it. Everyone's, well, check this on the pickups, check that on the pickups, check this, or, you know, I'm trying to do the best I can, if that makes sense. And I've had people post that my reviews are up with Philip McKnight and all that. It has nothing to do with Phil's channel. I think Phil does a great review too. I think he's a nice man. I met him at Sweetwater. He's in my opinion, after talking with him, he is 100% straight up average person. Just wants to help musicians. He's a music lover and a guitar lover. I got no impressions whatsoever from Phil that he's a shill or anything else that some people I know, they said that over this last guitar he was a shill for PRS. I don't see that in Phil. I don't. I'm a pretty good read on people, and after meeting him in person and talking with him, he's just like me, if that makes sense. Just a dude that loves guitars, that has a lot of guitar knowledge, that wants to share it, if that makes sense. So I have the utmost respect for the man. Avery, just drink a few monsters before the fret check and you'll be in scroll mode. Hey, I got it right here, buddy. Look. This live stream is brought to you by Monster. Because that's the only thing that keeps me going sometimes, guys. I don't know if you guys want to do a search. It's the Cheap Audio Man. How many people have watched the Cheap Audio Man? The dude is funny. He reviews budget high-end audio equipment. And he is so funny. Let's say that this is, I don't know. He'll come up, today's sponsor is, and I don't know where he gets it. It's off the wall products that you can't buy anywhere. It's like spoof products. I don't know if he does it trying to get people to sponsor his shows, but sometimes it's funny as heck. He'll say, this show is brought to you by Lizard Car Wash, and it's like, it's got this fake bottle, and it's like, guaranteed to be slick or something. I always thought that was kind of funny how he does that. Birdman says, I'll admit I'm a shill. We've heard you talk about this brand a lot, Birdman. You really like it. If you like the product and you feel that is a good product for the price you paid for it, that's not being a shill. A shill is someone that knows it's a horrible product and you're telling people it's a good product because you're getting a kickback. Oh, yeah. The Mocha. I like, this one's my favorite. Warheart, the white one. Yeah, somebody's letting off fireworks. I hear them booming. So, I'm serious, guys. Without this stuff during the day at my job, I would probably fall over in the CNC or fall over into the miter box. There's days where I don't know how I go without the monsters. Oh, Birdman, come on. He's like, oh, shill isn't good? Birdman is just pulling our legs now, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played that guitar, Birdman. But if you like, and I say this all the time, this guitar might not be for everybody. I'm just pointing out, for $550, this is a solid guitar. It's a solid guitar. It's solid. You don't have to put tuners on it. You don't have to put pickups on it. You don't have to change the bridge. Just buy it and play it. Ha! Well, some of that sugar-free stuff, yeah, it's bad for that. If you eat more than like two or three of them, I found out the hard way. I'm a diabetic. Everyone knows that. So I was eating a lot of that sugar-free chocolate. And you're right. There was a certain room in the house that I didn't leave for like about an hour. And yeah, come to find out, they should just call it what it is. It's X-Lax. That's what sugar-free chocolate is. It's X-Lax. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know if they put X-Lax in Monsters or not. I kind of doubt it. We got Vox just came in the group. Good to see you, Vox. Driving home from work, but listening in. Cool, man. He's like green color. Yeah, it gets crazy. Avery, just give the Rev Star away. I think it's past the price point, Jupe. Now, next time, this would be a great giveaway. This guitar fits. This is what we're looking for, guys. Good tuners, good pickups, decent fretwork, well constructed, but we've got to get the price down just a little bit more for this budget channel to do a giveaway on it, if that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It's your all's money. Come right down. Jupe has donated. Pentagore has donated. Everyone in here is pretty much given $1 here or there. Niles, everybody that I could think of. Devastator has given Super Chat money. So that's the money buying the guitar. So if you guys want to do, I was just thinking if we try to keep it at a budget and try to find a guitar that is good. We're not talking the best. It's got to have solid, stable tuners, good pickups. That's what we're trying to find. Everyone loves music. So wouldn't it be better, like you could buy this Rev Star right here, this Yamaha Rev Star, and you can buy that Yamaha TX 10 amp, okay, $550 and $329, and you need a guitar cord, okay? You can get a strap, and I think you could be under 650, 750, 850. You would be right about $900, maybe 1,000. Okay, you're talking about the main plate that's glued to the top of the body. If it's losing bond, you can't just squirt glue under it, if that makes sense. Glue doesn't like to stick to glue, if that makes sense. So what you want to do is take the strings off the guitar and push down on the wood plate. And if you can, take an X-Acto knife and trace out exactly where that wood plate fits on the body. Okay, just score the top of the guitar right next to where the wood hits the top of the body. Then take some blue tape and go around it. And you need to release that wood plate from the rest of the body. Okay? Then you need to get in there and you need to lightly sand all that residue from the bond, the original glue agent, on the bottom of the acoustic, the wooden plate, and the top of the guitar. Okay? So if you don't, and they used wood glue, the wood glue can't penetrate into the wood. Okay? Wood glue itself is brittle. It needs to penetrate into the fibers of the wood to get a good bond. Okay? So you need to scratch the surface of the top of the guitar only under where the bridge sets. That's why I'm saying score it with a knife. Okay? Then you can take a razor blade and you can kind of scrape it right up to where you scored it and scrape that whole section of the body. Then take the bridge section, turn it upside down, and scrape the bottom of that and get it good and flat. Once you get it to that point, you need to get 2 clamps that'll fit into the sound hole that's going to go back, that you can put pressure on that bridge from under the body where the bracing is directly on that bridge. Once you know you have 2 clamps, get them to where you can get them in the guitar and they're quick to adjust. Okay, don't get them in the guitar and be in there playing, trying. Get them close. Then put the glue on the bridge. Put the bridge back in position exactly where it was and put your two clamps on it and let it sit for 2 days. Okay. Any glue out and spill out as soon as you get the clamp to pressure. Don't put so much pressure on it to where it squeezes all the glue out because that's bad. But put enough pressure on it to where it's going to push down on the bridge tight to the body, okay, and creates a bond. Usually wood glue likes about, you know, 10, 15 psi of pressure. It doesn't take much. It just needs to push on it enough to where it forces that glue into the fibers of the wood. Let it set up for 2 days, take it off, and restring it. When you first put it on, have a paper towel, it'd be better to use a cloth with water, and any glue that comes out, wipe it up in the crack around where the bridge comes down to the body, and you're golden. But you got to get it off. You got to get the bridge off the guitar and get that old glue off. Now, could you pry up on it and drip CA glue down in there and try to get a clamp on it? Yeah, you could. That's a fast, easy repair, but it's not a good repair. A good repair is to remove the bridge, like I said, get the old glue off, scrape it with an X-Acto knife like this. This is the X-Acto blade. Scrape. Yeah, you got to get that old residue off. If not, the glue is sticking to the old failed glue, and that's not a strong bond. If that makes sense. I'm sure if you type it in YouTube, there's detailed videos of luthiers pulling that bridge and scoring it around with the knife, like I'm talking about. And the only reason they're scoring it is when you take that X-Acto blade and you're scraping, when you get close to that, it's going to lift and break at that score. And it's not going to chip the finish where you can see it. It's only going to break off under the bridge where you're doing the reglue. Yep, you got to clean it. It's got to be a good. The cleaner your surface, the better your bond's going to be, and the longer lasting the repair will be. It should never fail if it's done right, if that makes sense. The next thing you want to look at is the little pins that go down in it. If you have some that start slipping on you, there are different diameters and different tapers. So you can pull your pins and go one size up and then use a reaming tool to ream the hole to put a new pin in it. That usually doesn't happen until a guitar gets very old. And then there's another trick. Instead of the pin holding the ball of the guitar and putting a groove in the pin, you can groove the saddle and the seat of the guitar to where the string follows through the body of the guitar and then up. And the pin does not have a groove. Some people claim it's more resonant that way. I can't say whether it is or isn't. I don't have an opinion on that. I don't really see the difference whether you groove the body or you groove the push pin. It's accomplishing the same thing. But I have heard grooving the body and using a non-fluted pin is more resonant. How much truth there is in that, I don't know. I'm not really an acoustic guy. I'm more of an electric person. There could be some truth in it. That might be one of those things like a tone wood debate. I'm not going to go by tone wood. This is all I'm going to say. I have a couple guitars I really like. One's poplar and one's alder. And I love both of them. And I have played alder and poplar guitars at other times and other manufacturers, and I have felt similarities as far as the way the guitar feels against my chest unplugged. But they had different pickups. So I'm sure it does something. I think we had this conversation last week. If you get 2% better, it's 2%. If you do a modification on your saddles and you get 2 or 3% better there, okay, now you're a little further ahead. You put Barnes pots in, you gain 2 or 3% there, or heavier wiring. You might get 10% better, or whatever. Just keep in mind all these little things that guitarists, and I'm a guitar player. Yeah, you've heard me say it. Oh, I want better pickups. Um, the best bang for your buck on getting better sound over your guitar is an EQ pedal between your guitar and your amplifier. That's the cheapest way of shaping the tone of your guitar. If you give me a choice of putting the world's best pickups in a guitar, the best electronics, the best everything, and it was $2,500, I would buy an amplifier. The best amplifier I could buy. Because I know if I take a $200 or $300 Squire and I plug it into that $3,000 amplifier, I can make that Squire sound good. But if I take my $3,000, hot rodded guitar and I plug it into this Yamaha, and everyone knows I like this Yamaha TX10, I'm not going to hear everything that 10% better volume knob, 10% better pickup, 10% better quality wood. Or I'm not going to hear that little bit of extra that I paid an exorbitant amount of money for it to be 10 or 15% better. I'm not going to hear it in that budget amplifier, if that makes sense. And that doesn't mean everyone's at a different journey, if that makes sense. It's something I feel that you have to learn for yourself. I can't sit here. I can tell you my experiences, and the people in the chat over here, they can tell you their experiences. But until you experience that, what a great amplifier can do with a cheap guitar and what a great guitar sounds like in a cheaper amp, and you're spending your hard-earned money and you make a mistake and you buy this guitar and you do this amplifier, I think eventually everyone kind of develops their point of view, if that makes sense. So in the chat, other people are going to say their point of view. My point of view is, before I spend $300 on a set of pickups or $200 on a set of pickups, I would spend $80 on an EQ pedal and see if you can shape your tone a little bit there. And everyone knows I'm a JB freak. I like JBs. But that doesn't mean that if I didn't put an EQ pedal there, I couldn't get more out of it, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm describing that right. I'm trying my best at that. All right, guys, we're at an hour and 26 minutes. So you know what that means. I am going to do the intermission, and I'm looking for the right intermission button. I'm pretty sure it's this one. It says break scene. So if you're new to the channel, and I want to take this time, if you're new here, you do not have to subscribe to chat. I don't think that's fair. I want you to come in, chat with the people that's in the group. Everyone here is really cool. I want you to see, and post your opinion and feel like you're part of the group. Hopefully, with Discord, the great people that's on the Discord and the videos here and the live streams and the other videos, I can earn your subscription. But come into the live show. It's about us being musicians. Post your thoughts, join in, have fun. And at the end of the stream, if you want to subscribe, great. If not, you just want to be an unsubscriber and come into the stream, that's cool too. I'm not going to force you to subscribe just so you can participate. It doesn't seem fair to me to force you to subscribe to be able to participate. If you participate and you like it, then hit the button. But something we do, we take a 5-minute break. It lets you use the restroom, allows you to go get something to drink, and then we come right back and continue to talk guitars. So this is our 5 minute break. Okay. I was looking at some of the chat here, and it looks like we're having a conversation on grain. Um, just my 2 cents on it. If you look at the original Fender Telecasters, they were made out of pine. Now, before anyone says anything, the fast grow pine stuff that we use today is not the pine they were using in the 50s. Um, what you're looking for, some people call it bull pine, some people call it heart pine. Okay, so if you can find heart pine, you can look at the grain structure in heart pine. The darker sections of heart pine is actually quite hard, and the other sections is actually quite soft. So, as far as a resonant material, the denser grain in the pine is more resonant than the softer. The softer actually acts as like a dynamite, and it muffles and mutes. But then the harder section is more resonant. So you end up with this material that is doing both. And with a lot of grain across, it'll resonate, mute, resonate, and it creates a sound. That's the theory and the concept behind it. So when you look at mahogany, mahogany does have grain. All trees have grain, but it's a very consistent distant density across the grain. So if you look at the striping in mahogany and you run a density probe on it and you do 2 pins and how far it pushes into the material with X amount of pressure, it's going to be pretty consistent, unlike the pine or heart pine, grain versus the other part of the wood. That's why mahogany is so stable, because you've got very similar material, whether it's in the growth ring or the non-growing season. That's what creates, when the tree starts to grow, it grows faster. Okay, that creates the grain separation, and then it slows down, and it grows slower and denser. Then it grows fast, and the fibers are more open, and this creates a grain pattern. Okay, a pine tree from the Carolinas is going to have a different density rating across its growth rings than a pine tree from Michigan. Why? Because the tree in Michigan is going to have a summer and a winter. It's going to have a longer non-growth season than the tree from South Carolina. Even though they're both pine, let's say Saratoga pine or something like that, the density across the growth rings is going to be different due to the region it was grown in. So I don't want anyone to say, well, it's Canadian maple. Okay, what part of Canada was this maple sourced from? Because the region makes a lot of difference in the overall density and the structure of the wood, if that makes sense. So, and I'm bad for it too. I'll go, oh, it's mahogany. Well, even though what I just said about mahogany, if you take that mahogany to Michigan, okay, even though mahogany's, it's more in different areas in the United States, depending on the climate, will change the mahogany. That's why there's a type of mahogany that comes from Oregon and Washington State and California. It's called American mahogany. It's extremely expensive, but it's also extremely stable, especially the California American mahogany. It's very hard to find. And a lot of people like to get that in large slabs and divide it into book match tables just due to its beautiful grain content. But it's hard to find, it's hard to source, and it's extremely expensive. So where it's sourced makes a big difference. I just saw Jerry White put in yellow pine. Yellow pine is the worst as far as cross dimensional density from growth ring to growth ring than any wood product that I can think of. It is stupid soft and then stupid hard. Stupid soft and stupid hard. And I don't have any answers on why yellow pine is like that. But when yellow pine goes through growth spurts, it grows extremely fast. And that's a less dense part of the tree. And when it's not growing and it's out of season, it grows in that area is extremely dense, extremely hard. Yellow pine, as far as my experience in working with wood, is the hardest wood to sand and get perfectly flat. Well, you can't sand it and get it perfectly flat unless you're running an extremely expensive sander. If that sander has any give whatsoever in the pad, it erodes away the soft section of the wood before it sands into the harder grain section of the wood. That's why you end up with these ripples across the pine product. Even in a time saver on solid steel drums and the belt goes around it, you'll still see issues with the soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard. The time saver does it really well, but someone still goes back with a DA sander and lightly hits the guitar. If they're using a softer pad, it's going to erode away more of the material in the soft than it does the hard. There could be another material that's worse than yellow pine, but yellow pine is the worst material for that. Sorry, forgot the cough button. That's just my view on the yellow pine. Yellow pine is an inexpensive wood. It's great for framing because it's dense in areas. It's probably not the best structural wood, but a lot of people use it as structural wood due to cost. Yep. A lot of your flooring will be yellow pine as well, or ponderosa pine. Ponderosa pine's a little soft for flooring, but yellow pine's pretty popular. But you also see that as far as barbinga, uh, which is Brazilian cherry, really popular on flooring. It's also used in guitars because it's so dent resistant. The drawback to these materials are the same with Purple Heart. Purple Heart, these materials don't like UV light. Well, it's not that they don't like them, but they change colors drastically in direct UV light. So if you have a guitar that has barbinga or Brazilian cherry or Purple Heart, and you have, let's say, you've got a Purple Heart, two Purple Heart stripes on your guitar, and you set this guitar in the window, and you put a cloth in the center of the neck, leave it sit there for 2 weeks, take the cloth off. You're going to see a difference in that Purple Heart, right where that cloth was. It's going to be lighter. Oh, who was it? Jace Bush. If you're new here, welcome to the chat. Glad to see new people in. If you've already posted before and my little squirrel brain just doesn't recognize it, I apologize. But we always try to do a shout out for someone that I haven't seen in the group before. So these type woods, when the UV light hits them, they darken. Brazilian cherry is horrible for it. Purple Heart is horrible for it. Purple Heart, when you sand it, it looks purple. The drawback to it is it doesn't retain that purple color unless they've put a UV blocking agent in the clear coat. It will start to brown out in time. Exact same thing with Brazilian cherry. It may look nice and red at the beginning, but it will brown out with UV light. Even if you put UV blockers in your clear, time, if that thing is around direct UV light, it will darken. It's the nature of natural wood. Certain woods do it more. Brazilian cherry is really bad. I would probably say Brazilian cherry and Purple Heart, probably the worst at UV discolorization. You were a bad boy, Penagore. I don't know what that's about. Ha! He said, just enjoying the stream. That was Joyce. That's cool, man. We appreciate you coming in and hanging out, man. I don't have how many people's in the stream right now. Got 21. So that's just my opinion on different woods. So keep that in mind. If you really like the purple color or purple heart, keep in mind that it is going to change colors. That's the nature of the product. So going back to where this started, like different grains, that's just something to look forward to. This I'm not a tone wood guy, but I can see where a soft, hard grain structure in wood would change tone. If you're looking at how it resonates, they're all going to resonate differently. Ooh, Niles just came in the chat. Good to see you, Niles. Yes, I'm late. Been playing. Ha! That's no problem, man. I don't know what MSFS 2024 is, but he likes it. That's all it counts. Well, we're seeing a lot of grafted woods, like War Arts just said. We're seeing hybrids, like chestnut. If you see chestnut, it's not chestnut. There are no more chestnuts. All chestnut trees are dead. There are no more chestnut trees. What they've done is they've crossed bred chestnut seeds with another species, and they tried to graft chestnut trees before all the root structures died. So this new chestnut is a hybrid. It's not like the old chestnut. To my knowledge, I can't think of any guitars that were ever made out of chestnut, but that is definitely a material that we can no longer source. There are no more chestnut trees. I think it was called the Blake that they got. I don't remember what year it was, but within 2 or 3 years, all the chestnut trees just died. Um, oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Cool. So there are no more chestnut trees, but they're doing a lot of hybrid stuff. They're cross seeding and crossbreeding different things. I see not necessarily wood, but wood alternative products may be coming in the future, whether it's composites or carbon fiber, plastics, stuff like that. I see it becoming bigger in the future. Is it going to be better? I don't know. I could see the advantage to carbon fiber. I mean, if you're talking resonance, carbon fiber has a resonance to it. The drawback to carbon fiber, and probably be the first guitar channel to say this, as carbon fiber flexes, it creates radio frequencies. And I'm sure Birdman has had issues with his RC stuff. He may not know what's causing it. If he's using Spectrum, I can already tell you he's having issues. As carbon fiber flexes, it emits a radio frequency, and it can cause brownout issues on radio equipment. So now you're going to put carbon fiber in a guitar that has electronics next to it. Is the guitar going to flex? Carbon fiber is actually conductive as well. It will conduct electricity, so keep that in mind. There are some issues with carbon fiber. I know I was a helicopter pilot for many years and used to put a ton of satellites on my helicopters because of the flex of the carbon fiber emitting off-band 2.5 and 5 gigahertz signals, causing brownouts in my Spectrum transmitter system. So it's not a perfect product. I think it's great to use as a reinforcement in the neck. It's extremely strong. But once the resin fails, it's extremely weak. So once it begins to crack, it's done. There is no in between with the carbon fibers. It goes right to its yield point of shear and stress. And once you hit that point, there is no, it's kind of broken. It either is structurally sound or it's gone. It fails immediately and delaminates and falls apart. So there's drawbacks to carbon. And fiberglass has the exact same issues as far as rigidity and destruction, but it does not have the radio frequency problem as far as when it twists. And fiberglass also doesn't conduct electricity like the carbon fiber does. Carbon fiber will conduct electricity, so you end up with electronics issues. Could you use it as shielding? You could laminate your shielding pocket with carbon fiber, and it would act like, copper as long as you grounded it properly and shielded and used rubber grommets between your electronics. But then you're just asking for problems, I think. Using just old school copper probably be just as good. Um, Composites, as far as resin and wood, I see that becoming the future. Um, Whether you're doing a mold, instead of using a CNC, they'll have a mold and they'll use an epoxy and cellulose, mix the two together, pour it in molds, and then make the bodies out of that. It would be extremely heavy, but that could be something that's coming in the future. I heard that Dan Electro is already using like an MDF product in their guitars. It's pretty much like a cardboard uh, paper with a CA type glue as a bonding agent. I've heard that it's pretty much paper. I don't know how resilient it is to water. It depends on the resin they're using. I hope that's not the future. I work in MDF products, and MDF is just a horrible product. It's a horrible product. It's nasty to work with, and it doesn't seem to be too resilient. Once the open fibers fail, it fails quickly. It also is prone to pulling moisture in high humidity climates and expanding. So I don't see MDF as a viable alternative to making a guitar, especially if you live in a high humidity area. It's just going to expand and cause all kinds of issues. Um, I know in the 70s and 80s, cheap guitars were done out of plywood. Now, you literally used plywood on the bodies. Those guitars did not hold up the test of time very well. I think that we can do other things. You need to look at trees that grow quick, but also like renewables. Bamboo grows fast, and bamboo has a better structural yield than pine. How would a bamboo laminated guitar, what would that sound like? I don't know. But the problem with bamboo is the thickness yield. So you're going to have to glue a bunch of strips together. It's not like a piece of oak or a piece of walnut where you're going to get something 1 inch or 2 inches thick by 18 inches wide. You're not going to find that in bamboo. So that means you're going to have to do a multi-laminate and glue the bamboo together. Anytime you put a glue seam in something, you have two different dissimilar materials or similar materials from different trees put together. They never contract and expand and take moisture the same way. I don't care what anybody says. The only way to do it is what, like Kiesel explains how they do their guitars. They take a board, and if they're not book matching, when they cut half the body out, the other half of the body is cut right out of the board from the first part. So they cut a 4 foot section, cut it in half, and glue those two pieces together. It's at least from the same tree and very close to the same spot in the tree. So the material should be extremely consistent. If you're in a production plant and you got a bunch of scrap and you're just throwing scrap together, those two pieces could be from a tree 10 miles apart from one another, or a different region, or from last year and it's been sitting on the shelf and this one's been sitting for 6 months. does that kind of make sense, guys? And that's what it'll cause. If you look at your guitar and you look at it at the light, you'll see these little a line. I call it a glue line in the finish, and that's from this section of the body expanding and contraction different than this one, or more moisture, depending on where you live. Now, this guitar is not showing that yet. But after the guitar gets 2 or 3, 6 years old, 10 years old, it starts to show its head, multi-piece bodies. Some of them get so bad when you run your finger across it, you can actually feel like a little lip where the glue seam is. That's why everyone says, oh, it's a solid body guitar. It costs more money to find a slab big enough to route that whole guitar out of. It's the best way of doing it. Second best is 2-piece. If they can book match it, where they have a large slab and they cut it in half and fold it over and book match. But you got to have a, 4¼ inch slab. Resaw it, flip it over, plane it, and glue it together to even get, a 1 3/4 or a 2-inch body slab out of it. So it costs a lot of money. I don't know what the future will be. We'll have to see. We've went through the bad guitars, like I said, of the 70s and 80s and plywood. I don't think anyone's using those type materials anymore, but I'm sure they're still out there somewhere. I worked with yellow pine. It says, Avery, I worked with yellow pine for 35. It was funny to me that you're saying you can't sand it flat. I'm not saying you can't sand it. You can. I have a Festool, and I can put what they call a hard disc on it. What I mean, you can't. The average person, if you got a DeWalt DA sander, you're not sanding it flat because the pad, the rubber pad, and the foam is soft. So as it sands, it's very soft, it's very hard, it's very soft. The softer part of the wood sands quicker than the hard part. So if you have a squishy pad on your sander, and you put your sandpaper on it, you push down on it, the pad doesn't stay completely flat. Now, my Festool, I've got a bunch of different pads that I can put on it. If I put a hard pad on it, yes, I can sand it pretty flat. The best way of doing it is to plane it and then scrape it. There's an old saying in fine woodworking, you don't touch anything with a piece of sandpaper. You scrape it. And it has something to do with how the wood fiber responds to the sandpaper is basically running rocks across it. That's what they are. Whether you're using 3000 grit, the rocks are just smaller, if that makes sense. It's still scratching the guitar, okay? If you use a scraper, high-end scrapers, it's laser edge. It's perfectly straight. And it'll literally just shave the guitar. And there's something with the wood fibers when you go to stain something that's been scraped or sanded to 3000 grit. The scraped version will always punch and pop more. That's all I was saying. It's very hard to sand yellow pine. Yeah, your pad makes all the difference. Yellow pine's the worst. It's the worst for it. It really is. Mahogany, you can use a soft pad on mahogany. It's very consistent across its growth rings as far as density. Hopefully that makes sense. And you can see it. You can hear it in the CNC machine. When you put a yellow pad slab in the CNC, you'll hear the machine. You'll hear these variations in tone. And what it is that grain in the slab might be doing this. And as the cutter comes through, it could be hitting a hard section. And when it comes through that growth ring and hits the soft, you can hear it in the machine. And before you go into what's called the cleaning pass, because you're going to have step down marks, okay? unless you're running a Haas. A very high tolerant machine like a Haas machine, you'll have minimum step over even before you do your clean pass. If you look at it, you can see the tear out from the spiral bit on the side. That's why we always offset. Every material's different. On yellow pine, I would probably say a 32nd of an inch offset. So if I wanted to bore, if I wanted to CNC this circle, and this is exactly 2 inches, my first pass would be, it's not 1/32 of an inch bigger, it would be 2 1/16, because I'm going to gain a 32nd here and I'm going to gain a 32nd here. When the machine is done, it cuts through and it goes down to the bottom of the spool board. The machine is then going to ramp in and cut 1/32 of an inch off the side at full depth. It's not going to step down, step down, step down, step down, step down. Once it's at its lowest position, and it's a 64th of an inch or a 32nd of an inch, depending on how flat and level your spool board is, it's going to then traverse in a 32nd of an inch and keep the same feed rate around that. And when it gets right on your curve in, because you can't just dive in and go. You can't go like this, in, and then start your arc. You want to come in on your arc, create an ellipse, then get to your final radius. And once you get to that tangent point where you're at the right radius, you've got to arc out. If not, you're going to see it. It's one of those things you'd have to run one to see it. There's always in play in the bit. That's why it's called engagement. The amount of pressure and engagement that's on that tool needs to stay consistent. That's why when I'm reviewing guitars, and I'm looking right here, because this is a radius, okay? When that tool comes up and it makes this turn, there's an engagement variation right here. The amount of pressure from coming off of this radius and switching directions will change the engagement, the pressure of that bit against the material. So I'm always looking for tear out, a change in orientation, or fuzz, or whatever. All these things. Just because you've got X engagement at this radius, the tighter the radius, I got to think about this. The tighter the radius, the quicker the arc speed needs to be. Is that right? I'd have to look at my notes. When you get into a tight radius, it'll burn. So you got to get into that radius and arc out on your rough pass. If not, it burns the wood because it can't remove the material. If you've got a 1-inch end mill in your machine, okay, and that radius is 1.5 inches, it doesn't have the room to create the arc and get rid of that material. Because even though you're at a, let's say 120 board foot a minute, when it comes to that arc, it's actually going to slow down, okay? Because you're going through a tight radius. So it's going to want to burn. The problem with that is, if you did burn the material, is your 32nd of an inch cleanup pass going to clean that burn out from the bit? I'm thinking I got to slow the machine down. I'd have to look at my notes. I got a lot of the stuff written down as far as notes. You can't remember everything, guys. You learn as you do. And then when you learn something, you put little notes on the side of your machine, next to the monitor, next to the Farnock control. Hey, if this is doing this, check your feed rate, check your spindle speed, check. There's nobody perfect at anything, if that makes sense. But as you learn, write these notes down and take it from there. So I think grain has a lot to do with that. And that's why I'm always so picky when I'm looking at the bottom of the pockets of the guitars. I'm looking at the step overs for the end play of the bit. And that tells me how much time did that company spend with that slab on the CNC. If I see a lot of step over marks and a lot of variation, I know it's what's called a fast guitar. They threw it on the machine. They have got that program down to where if they can save a minute, okay, and not do a clean pass, they're going to do it. Could they come back and mill that pocket completely flat in the pickup thing? Sure. But they're going to run a prototype and go, that's acceptable. Does that kind of make sense? If it saves them 15 minutes on every body and they do 1,000 bodies, that's a tremendous amount of time, a tremendous amount of savings. So those are the things that I look for when I do reviews. Looking at the comment, shaved ice cream, shaving ice cream. I don't know, Birdman. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just what I've found, guys, with tone wood. Like I said, I'm not saying that tone wood is not a thing, but I can tell you different woods respond differently. And when I say resonant, I know resonant material just by the sound of the machine cutting through the wood. Whether it's a dense piece of wood, not so dense piece of wood, or that piece of wood has dense and less dense material all in the same slab, like from grain, like yellow pine. You can hear it in the machine. You can hear it in the cutter. You can hear it in the. It's just one of those things. When you're around the machine long enough, you start to hear the pitch of the cutter, and you know what it's doing just by the sound that it's generating. Mike's been in the basement working again. I enjoy framing, electrical, and duct work. Could never do this for a living. It's okay, man. Wait till you get into. Well, I don't have drywall in this house. Everything here has been plaster repair, but drywall is much easier than plaster, Mike. But it is dusty. So when you put plastic up, uh, yeah, your wife's going to be upset because drywall dust will get all through your house when you go to hang drywall in your house. It's messy. Even when you tape off, it finds its way into the rest of the house. But good luck with it. So anybody got anything to add to the CNC or the Tonewood debate? It's an open channel. I'm sure there's another CNC programmer in this chat that can say this guy is full of BS, or he could say, yeah, I can hear the difference in the machine when it hits soft to hard, or you know, a different offset. Cutter compensation, some people call it, for their clean pass. They don't necessarily modify the program. They run the program, go up to the machine, and put a 32nd of an inch compensation in the cutting path and run the part again. It depends on how you view it. What do you guys like better? Les Paul with a maple top or no maple top at all mahogany? I don't know. I think on a Les Paul, I like the gold top, which it doesn't need a maple top for the gold top. Um, I kind of like a Les Paul with a flame maple top with a burst. I'm not much on the regular maple top. Sometimes they get a little blotchy looking. That's just me. But I think if I was going to do a Les Paul, I would have no issues at all with just a solid mahogany Les Paul. Some people claim the maple cap gives the Les Paul a certain sound. Maybe that's true. But I wouldn't have a problem with just a solid maple painted Les Paul. Yeah, I'm sure Gibson and all of it. There's so many different Les Paul models out there, Mike. I don't know. Yeah, tone wise, that's what I was saying. I know people claim the maple cap Les Paul sound better. Oh, we've been on the tone wood and grain debate all night, Mike. I don't know. Um, I don't want to ever say that someone's wrong just because I haven't. I think I said it earlier. Uh, Alder and Poplar. Both my favorite guitars are Alder and Poplar. I've got other Alder and Poplar guitars, and there's that I like. Is it the Alder or Poplar, or do they have similar specs? Is the neck radius the same? Is it the fret scale? Pickups. There's so many different things, but I have noticed that some people are like, "Oh, it's Poplar." I don't have an issue with a Poplar body guitar. Uh, I don't. I got some mahogany body guitars. I think they're good too. But can I say the mahogany sounds better than my Poplar? I can't. I like my Poplars just as much as the mahogany ones. That's just me. Any thoughts on my ill story above? True story, guys. I did an HS mod on my Squire Affinity Strat. Things had an Angus Young tone on the bridge. Pup humbucker swapped the scratch plate assembly to a full thickness body, and it lost the Angus. Um, Sometimes the only thing I'll say about that Birdman is I had a guitar. It was a Peavey, um, and I did a pickup swap on it because I really liked this particular pickup in another guitar I had. I put that pickup in the Peavey, and I could just never get it to sound like my other guitar, if that makes sense. I loved that pickup in my other guitar, but when I put it in that HSS Nitro, um, it just didn't have the same sound. Now I don't remember if it was the same cap. I don't remember if it was the same K value pots. Um, there's a lot of unknowns here that I just don't remember. I just remember that I wasn't happy with it. So I took the pickup out and put another pickup in it. I didn't like that pickup, and I ended up going back to the stock pickup. Um, Never really got the guitar to sound like the one that I was trying to emulate, if that makes sense. Um, Take that as how you will. Sometimes a pickup might sound great in this guitar, and you put it in another guitar, and it just doesn't have the mojo. And that could be a ton of different things. It could be your potentiometers. It could be a different cap. It could be the wood. It could be the bridge. It could be the set of the neck when you took it apart. You don't have it as tight, and it's not as resilient now as far as the vibrations. There's so many things that you could actually say, Birdman, that causes it. Poor Woofy has been evicted. Oh no, yeah, no, he's with the little one in the room. that's the that's the Revstar case. Everyone's missing Woofy. He's the star of the group. Yeah, you're gonna notice that. Sometimes that's why I was saying on the last stream, the Schecter that's coming in, it's got a stainless steel bridge, stainless steel saddles. In my experience with stainless steel, it brightens the sound. So if you've got a guitar that already has a brightish pickup in it, putting stainless steel saddles on that guitar may not be a good choice unless you want a really bright sound. You might want to go brass to kind of tone down the brighter pickup, or put a special tone bleed in the circuit to calm the pickup down. Um, then again, if you take that brighter pickup and you put it in a Les Paul that's dark sounding, maybe that brighter pickup will take some of that dark tone out of the beefier sounding guitar. Does that kind of make sense? So I'm not going to say a DiMarzio distortion is going to sound great in every guitar. I don't believe that. I don't. I, Even though I'm not going to jump on the Tonewood bandwagon, I'm not going to say that I could put the exact same pickup in every guitar here in the house and they're going to sound the same. Because I know that's not the case. I just know it from experience. Sometimes there's something. Plus, you also got to keep in mind, guys. You can order five Seymour Duncan JBs, test them, and they're all going to read different. So there's so many variables, and I keep that more and more in mind as I do reviews. There's a lot of variables. That's why I'm testing the pickups. When you order your guitar, is your ohms going to be just like the one that I tested? Probably not. It might be off zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4, but it shouldn't. Mine shouldn't read 10K and you get yours at 8.5. If mine's reading 10K, you might get one at like 10.5, maybe 9.5. It depends on the tolerance the company set for that pickup model, whether it's 0.25 or zero point 0.5 tolerance. And is that total tolerance? Oh, it's got to be within 0.25. Okay, within 0.25 of what? See, this is something we find in programming. If you say, oh, the tolerance needs to be within 0.25 of 10, that means I can go 9.75 or 10.25. That means now there can be up to 0.49 difference between two pickups. Is it still within tolerance? It is if they said within 0.25 of 10 ohms, because both numbers work. Even though they're 0.49 out from one another, they're still within 0.25 ohms of the base number. Does that kind of make sense? So the larger that is, the more drift there can be between the manufacturer's pickup. So every pickup's going to be a little different. Every piece of wood's going to be a little different. I think all these things, every cap's going to read a little different. Every potentiometer is going to read a little different. That's why a lot of companies, if they build high-end guitars and medium grade, they go through and test every potentiometer. The ones that are dead set at 500, they set aside. This one might, oh, thank you, Devastator. So they're going to go through and test them. They're going to look at how far out the potentiometers are, how far out the caps are. And ones that test at a higher grade, they may separate and say, we're going to use these components because they're closer to spec than these. Not that these are bad. Maybe this potentiometer is reading 450 and not 500. And this one's reading 530. Is it bad? No, it doesn't make it bad. It's just not testing at 500. Does that kind of make sense? So they go, okay, this guitar, we have to have a coaster tolerance. So we're going to take these components and we're going to put these components in our $1,500 guitars. And the ones that are testing dead perfect, they're going over to our Murphy Lab guitars, if that makes sense. I'm sure companies do that. Someone is making sure that they should be making sure these tolerances are close or as close as possible. And the only way to do that is buy bulk and test them. That's the only way. You got to test them. Then, if they're so far out of spec, what do you do with them? Do you stick them in the bag and sell them as replacement parts? Because when you open up a Gibson, it's not going to say CTS on it. They have their own pot. It says Gibson right on it. Is it made by CTS? I would assume CTS makes it, but they have their own stamp. Okay? Bam! It's a Gibson potentiometer. It's a Fender potentiometer. It's a CTS. It's a Barnes. It's an Alpha. Gibson, Fender, and these companies, they're not making potentiometers. They're farming that product out, if that makes sense. If tone is in the fingers, I'm pretty much screwed. You know, Vox, I've talked about this before. I never understood that, but after doing YouTube and being more aggressive and not caring, I can honestly say that I have a different opinion on that. I think a lot of it is in your fingers. I think a lot of it's in your fingers and your attack and your pick aggression. I think it makes a big difference on how that guitar and how your amp responds when you play. I really do. And I've come to that determination in the last 2 years. And I say that, let me see if I can actually find my pick. I probably already lost it. Yeah. Oh, there it is. And I say that because, I'm on a clean channel. Let me switch over to my dirt channel. Okay, one dirt channel. We're going to play the Rev Star. So everyone's going to play a little different. If I didn't attack the strings, those are the notes. Well, if I can play it. Those are the notes we're going to play. So it's more than the notes. How you play it, how you attack it, makes all the difference in the world. I think if people, Eddie Van Halen's proof of that. If you look at how he approached the guitar, he would flick off on his finger, and that creates a different sound. If I play straight, now I'm going to flick it. Straight attack. There's a difference. There's a sound difference. When you put that in the hands of a super talented person like Eddie Van Halen, Joe Satriani, all these other guys, they just get a different sound by the way they bend. If you watch Steve Vai, he's got this real strange little vibrato circle thing he does. I can't even do it. But his fingers going back and forth on the fret. Forward, back, and he's also bending. So he's going forward to the fret, back to the fret, forward to the fret, back to the fret, forward to the fret, back. And it's like a little... That's as good as I can do it. It's a very strange, but it gives him a unique vibrato sound. Oh, who is it? Nicholas. I don't say. Oh, okay, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Nick, I'm still playing your pick, and I'm still waiting for my picks to show up. Like I said, Nick, without you guys, the streams wouldn't be possible. But if you listen, like I like ditties, so it's not just the notes. If we Those are the notes. Now we're going to dress it up. Bending and the timing is what gives it a groove, a feel. And I think that's where that saying, tone is in the fingers. It's a feel, it's a groove. Guys, I'm sure you've heard, I've been on here long enough where some nights you guys are probably like, well, he's playing pretty good tonight. And there's other nights it's like, whew, boy, he's off. I think it's a mental feeling and how healthy we feel. How good does your hands feel? How mentally open are we? Your whole feel, your connection to the guitar is happiness, sadness. All these things influence how we play the instrument. And I think you can definitely hear it if you go back and watch other streams. You'll hear some nights I'm more aggressive, some nights I'm more maybe bluesy. I think I had a little time where people were like, oh, it's just too bluesy sounding, or you got a lot of blues. And then there was other times, oh, it's too metally sounding. We all go through little phases. But that's what gives it that feel. And I think that's where that tone is in the fingers. I think that's where that comes from. It's just how you approach it. I'm not a lead player by any means, guys. Every band I was always in, I was always a rhythm player. And I think my playing kind of shows that. That, it's all feel. There's a lot of pull-offs. That's what gives it that wild sound. It's not a difficult riff. It's the pull-off. For someone to learn that and to pull off their fingers, that's hard to emulate. It's just hard because it's not your song. It's not natural to you. Does that kind of make sense? So when people are trying to do the Eddie Van Halen thing and they're struggling, it's not a natural progression. It's not a natural flow for your fingers. So Try not to do it. Be you. Learn the basics. Be you. If you want to be good, be you. You're not gonna ever be Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen is Eddie Van Halen. Joe Satriani is Joe Satriani. That's their sound. They have that sound. They didn't. It's not. Ooh, I want this sound. It's a sound that they developed by how they play, how their natural tendency of playing X, whether it's a run or a pull-off technique, they got that sound over the years of playing. And at some point, someone said, wow, that's really unique because that's their tone, their way of approaching it. Some people just make it and other people like it, but you got to be you. You can't, you're going to have more fun playing this 6-string instrument just by letting go and being you and play it for a while we started playing. Have fun. Just have fun with it. And I don't care if it's the stupidest song ever. 4-chord songs are just as fun to play with a group of people as playing Queensryche. I would rather play 4-chord songs than a Queensryche song. You know why? Because that 4-chord song, I can play it twice with band members and play it out. And I can have fun playing it. Queensryche, I'm going to sit there and practice it for 2 or 3 weeks and still screw up. And if I don't play it every week, I'm going to forget it because it's complicated. And I don't want to sit there playing in front of a bunch of people, a bunch of complicated music that I can't enjoy. You're there to have fun and make people happy. And if you're sitting there looking at your guitar neck, you're not engaging with the people. But if I'm sitting here and I got eye contact with you. I'm not playing something difficult. Ooh, difficult enough to be down a half step. See? Just showing you this is what we got to do. You got to be able to not look and play. If it's so complicated to where you're constantly looking down, it's okay to look down and get a reference, but don't sit there and stare at your guitar neck. You're not going to be engaging to the audience. Play simple stuff. Whatever it is, AC/DC, simple stuff. STP is simple stuff too. Just play simple stuff. You're going to enjoy it, and your band's going to be able to pick up new material much quicker. Whether it's been a long time. Just play stuff that doesn't take long to learn. I could relearn that song, get a group of people together, play it once, play with a group of people twice, go out and play it. It's not a complicated song. Just like, what is it? What is it? Ugly Kid Joe. What is it? That was a good song. Everyone loved it. They're not complicated. Find songs that people like to play. Yeah, I screwed up the. I screwed up that part. It's been probably 20 years since I played that out loud. It's a cool tune, and it's just a cool tune. Everyone knew it. I don't know. It probably wouldn't. It would probably be like a fart in church nowadays. But 25, 30 years ago, that was a cool song to play out. There's some songs that have standed the test of time, and some haven't. I don't know whether or not that would be a good one to pull off or not anymore. But if you got a Rev Star and you don't think it can play some rock and roll on it, this Rev Star is a rocking machine. I mean, it's got a good sound to it. It's a good playing guitar. I thought I could pull that out of my butt, but I couldn't. I don't care who you are. It's hard to play anything by that man and make it right. It takes practice after practice after practice after practice. He had such a unique style, and I don't do it justice. Shiny. Talk. Oh, my knee. Or what are they talking about? My knee. Well, I got a hole in my pants right here. We're gonna switch instruments here, guys. I've been playing the Rev Star pretty much all night. Now, that one is my guitar. We're going to play the Funny Honey's guitar. I don't know if it's in tune. We'll find out. A little bit more output on the Ibanez. Turn it back just a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about these quantum pickups that Ibanez uses. They're quite astounding pickup for what I call a budget guitar. They've got a good sound. This is a $450 guitar. The open chords ring out well. Ooh, Mike's leaving us. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming and joining in. It's always good to have you. It's good to see the blue wrench. I'm holding to my belief that if you're wanting to spend $450 on a guitar and you're just wanting a rock solid instrument, this is still the best guitar that's come across this channel at this price point. RGA 42 FM. Holy mackerel. Someone's got to stop Jupe. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jupe. Someday I'm going to be a lead guitar player. Someday. I just need to practice, 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 practice. Something, the gentleman's already left. Nicholas sent me some pics, and I am still learning this new pick, but I honestly feel that I have discovered a lot of the limitations on what I was feeling before with the floppy pick. I'm now getting past that, if that makes sense. But now I need to really start, and I've been doing it, guys. I've been sitting at night, probably driving Liddell crazy. I'm going, just offset notes, whatever it may be. Like, whatever I can do to practice and play it faster. And this right here, I know this drives her crazy. That and the more I do it, after about 5 minutes, I find myself getting better and better. And I'm struggling tonight doing it. A lot of missed frets. It doesn't sound clean. That's the thing. Playing it clean. And sometimes it sounds like poop when you're doing it slow, but at speed, it sounds right. And that took a long time to figure out too. Like just like what is it? That run sounds very strange. But at speed, it's awesome, if that makes sense. This is truly, if you have guys, you got to go to the store and play one of these things. It's an RGA 42 FM. I'm sticking to my guns at the $450 price point. That's money well spent. It's actually $479 now. We're doing a giveaway, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for guitars like this that the channel could say, this is a great guitar at a low price. It's $450. So if you wasn't at the beginning of the stream and you want to enter to win, you have to be subscribed, and it has to be publicly subscribed so I can see the subscription. Then you need to go to the Discord server, go to the guitar giveaway chat, enter your name. Yes, I want to be in the guitar giveaway, and you will be in the running for the free guitar. We also are still taking suggestions on the guitar. We got a bunch of different ones, so you can go to the Discord and see what everyone's talking about. Um, I don't want to get like 20 different guitars up that people are voting on, but right now we have 4 different models. So if we had 5 or 6 different, maybe 7 different models, we had 5 votes on one, that would be the guitar that we order. We're trying to find something between 400 and 450, but it has to be a solid. Well, we want it to be a solid instrument. Don't pick something. Well, this is a good guitar if you put tuners on it, or this is a good guitar, but the tremolos, you may have to upgrade the tremolo. We're looking for a guitar at 400 to 450 that's good out of the box. That's what we're shooting for. Uh, Very similar to this model. The RevStar is a little out of the price point. Again, I think that's a great guitar. Guitar needs nothing. It's got good tuners, good solid pickups. It's a good working man's guitar. That's what we're looking for. So if you all want to participate in that, you can go to the Discord server and put up your vote on what we should get, and then you can log in and put your name in on the drawing to win the guitar. So we're going to order the guitar in 30 days. So that gives everyone 30 days to cast a vote, log in, and we'll see where it goes. As of right now, and I have not checked the Discord server, the guitar in the lead is an Ibanez RG 330EX. It has a Godot floating bridge. It's a dual humbucker guitar, reverse headstock, and it's a blackout edition. So that's the guitar as of 3 hours ago, because we've been on streaming for 3 hours. And if you're new here, this is pretty standard. Our Saturday night streams are usually about 3 hours. And it's about everyone getting together and just goofing off. Uh-oh, I see smiley faces from Linnell, so what am I missing? No, guys, I gotta live here. So, can't give the fun. I won't be able to sleep. I'll be sleeping on the hardwood floor right next to the dog right here if we do that. That would be horrible. I don't know if she would do that or not. She might just force me to do it one night and say, "Did you learn your lesson?" Say, "Okay, come out and get your treat. You're a good boy." Oh. One thing I will say, guys, I have a significant other that loves me to death, that deals with this YouTube stuff, deals with my crazy music insanity, my love of music, my love of guitars, my love of everything guitars, actually. Me working on guitars in the basement. Behind every successful person, there's always a woman kind of pushing them. And I'm not saying I'm successful, but I'm saying without her, I wouldn't be able to do these things. It's great to have someone that comes up and allows you to enjoy this. And people go, "Well, you like music, just listen to it." Listening to the radio doesn't do it for me. I want to be able to play the instrument. I want to, whether it's the keyboard or the drums, I want to play music. That's the part. It's the interaction of the music. And sometimes kind of hard. Having a significant other that understands your love for it, that means a lot. Trust me. Now says, "I want a basement." Well, if you're in Florida, you don't want a basement. I can tell you it would just be an indoor swimming pool. She may put you in the dog bed. Yeah, you're right. It's fluffy, though. It'd be a good pillow. Oh. Like I said, I couldn't do it without her. She it's a team effort. So, and I guess that's my point. And that's how I want to view the channel. And if you're not here, Devastator, guy with the blue wrench in the chat. He runs our Discord server. He's the man. If anything needs to be changed, or you think it'd be done better, or a different option on setup, anything of that nature, that goes to Devastator. That's Devastator is our Discord guy. He's the one that's making sure that it goes right. And just like here, guys, we want to have respect and treat Discord with the exact same respect that we treat the live stream here. Uh, Watch, you know, just be careful. We don't want spamming and all the other. Be adults and be professionals, just like musicians, and have fun all at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. And this channel's been very, 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 very lucky as far as people coming in and causing problems. We have not had any issues. Knock on wood. The channel's been quite successful with only one person in the past that caused an issue, and that was resolved pretty quickly. So that was a good thing. All right, guys. I hate to say it, but I think we're at the 3-hour mark. Unless somebody has something to add, I think I'm going to call it a night. And remember Discord. So tomorrow we will be getting on Discord, and we're going to do some test streaming tomorrow. So if anyone wants to be involved in the test streaming, be on Discord tomorrow, in and out. There's a group of us that we're going to be doing some modifications on the stream, trying to make the stream a little better. We want to have guests come in, so it's not just my ugly mug on here, so you can see some other people during the live stream. So we're trying to take it to the next level. But like we do every stream, we do 5 minutes open chat where everyone can finish their chats, do closing comments, all that neat stuff. And I can't say it enough. Without you guys, the stream would not be possible. Discord would not be possible. The guitar giveaway that we're getting ready to do would not be possible. None of it would be possible without the subscribers and the people that help the channel and that contribute. So I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you all do. This is Thursday night and Saturday night, something that I look forward to come in. It's like family and friends. We just do guitars. And it's going to be pushed even more once we get guests coming into the show. Yep, we're ending the stream now, Searching for Toad. We got 5 minutes, open chat, guys. And again, thank you all so much for coming into the chat. And hopefully see some of you guys on Discord.